All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Dr. Will, and you guys know the deal. Let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. Even if you're watching this on the replay, let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from on this beautiful Sunday. On this beautiful Sunday, let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. Welcome to How to Build a $1 Million Brand, this special masterclass that I'm doing for you on this Sunday. So as you guys are coming in, let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. And I'm going to make sure we have everything set up. We're live streaming to several different places. So I just want to make sure they're set up, they're good to go. And we're going to get right into our training this morning. So as you guys are coming in, let me know. I see Arizona is in the house. Good to have you. So as you guys are coming in, let me know where you're coming in from. And I'm just checking all our places that we're going to be live on. All right. So as you guys are coming in for this, how to build a $1 million brand, how to build a $1 million brand. Let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. Let me just check one other location we're streaming to, make sure they're good. All right, I see it's there. I see it's on our homepage. It's on YouTube. All right, we're looking good to go. We're looking good to go. All right. All right, so once again, welcome to How to Build a $1 Million Brand. As you guys are coming in, also let me know, are you an author? Are you a speaker? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a career professional? I want to know who I'm speaking to today. Let me know in the chat. Let me know. Are you a speaker? Are you an author, consultant? Are you a career professional? Are you a CEO, business owner? Let me know in the chat who I am talking to as we get ready for how to build a $1 million brand. Let me know who I am talking to. So as we get started, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Will, and whenever I'm doing a presentation, I always just like to give a little backdrop about myself, because whenever I'm listening to somebody, I want to ensure that they qualify to be talking to me. So I want to just qualify a little bit about myself and why you should listen to me. Why should you give me the next 30, 40 minutes of your life? So I am a professional speaker. I've been a professional speaker for 20 years now. Most recently, I've been named one of the top 30 motivational speakers in the world. In addition to that, I have a consultant company, a leadership consultant company, and we've worked with some of the top Fortune 500 companies. And I've also been named a top 100 CEO here in the state of Arizona for 2 consecutive years in a row. I'm also a author of over 50 plus books, 35 of them being bestsellers. So when it comes to building a brand, when it comes to building a business, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm very successful at doing this. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you today are 3 things that I've done to build my $1 million brand. And you can implement these things as well. So I see that we have speakers in here. We have consultants, authors in here, business owners in here. I see speaker, author, trainer, consultant. Awesome. So that means you're in the right place. So We're going to hang out for about 30 minutes here, about 30 or 40 minutes. I'm going to share with you a few nuggets. As I said, I'm going to share with you three nuggets that I have used and implemented in my business over the last 20 years that have allowed me to build a successful business, to build a brand, and also to build my bank account. I always tell individuals, I think that your bank account should reflect your brilliance. And I believe those that have joined me today, I believe that you are brilliant. And so I believe your bank account should reflect your brilliance. But there's a couple of things that you need to do to ensure that your bank account reflects your brilliance. And that's what we're going to talk about. I'm in a season of my life right now where I just want to pour into other individuals, and I want to ensure that they could live the life that they dreamed of, the life that they desire. But there are some things and some frameworks that we have to put in place so you can ensure that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. In addition to being an author and a consultant and a speaker, I also have a speakers academy where I train other speakers and authors and leaders and influencers how to amplify their message, how to amplify their voice. And at the conclusion, I'm going to be sharing with you a live training that we have coming up October 20th through the 22nd. It's called Master the Mic. You see it right there on the screen. It's October the 20th through the 22nd, right here live in Phoenix, Arizona. I welcome you. It's coming up this week. So I welcome you to join us at this live event. It literally will transform your life. And for those of you that are just hearing about it right now today, it may be short notice for you, but I tell you, it's one of those times in life where you just have to take the plunge. You just have to take the plunge, because being in this room and being in this opportunity will take you to the next level. It will definitely take you to the next level. So let's get into our training today. So, in addition to being named one of the top 30 speakers in the world, in addition to being named the top CEO, in addition to authoring over 50 books, I'm the only speaker to have 4 bestsellers in one day. If you see right there, back about 7 years ago, this was for my 40th birthday, I released 4 books, and my goal was for each of those books to reach bestseller status. And if you see each of the books, I hit the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th spot in bestsellers. And so in one day, we had 4 bestsellers in one day. And this is a little bit about what I'm going to talk to you about today as it relates to building your brand. So when we talk about building your brand, what we're really talking about is the market perception about you. So when I talk about a brand, I'm not talking about your logo. I'm not talking about your website. I'm actually talking about you. When I talk about a brand, I'm talking about the individual. I'm not talking about your logo. I'm not talking about your brand colors, but I'm actually talking about you. And for those of you, if you're a speaker, consultant, an author, a solopreneur, and you're really wanting to go to the next level in your business, you want to get high level clients, then I want to make sure that you listen in very good today, because what I'm going to share with you is what's going to help you break the mundane and help you break away from the pack. Because no matter what each of us are doing, we're doing it alongside other people. You know, there's hundreds of thousands of other speakers. There's hundreds of thousands of other authors. There's hundreds of thousands of whatever, right? So what do you need to do for you to break away from that pack? You know, if you're inside of a pack, you're basically a commodity. So I want to help you today not to be a commodity. I want to help you. If you've been struggling with people, when you give your price, they're comparing you to other speakers or other authors or other consultants, and they're saying, oh, well, I can get this for this. I'm going to show you how to break out of that pack. I'm going to show you how to break out of the pack of being a Honda Accord, a Toyota Camry, a Ford, to breaking into being a Rolls Royce and a Bentley in your category, right? So if that sounds good to you, in the chat, write down, I'm ready. If you're ready for this, write down in the chat that I'm ready. Write down in the chat, I'm ready. If you want to break out of being a commodity to being high value and people seeing you as a high value, we have this thing inside of our academy where we call no blink clients. No blink clients. And what is a no blink client? A no blink client is a client that when you tell them your price, they don't even blink. They just cut you a check. They just write the check. That's the space I want you to be operating in. That's the space I want you to be operating in. I want when you tell somebody your price that they don't bat an eye, they don't even blink, that you have positioned yourself and you've shown so much value that they say, yeah, there's not even a question. Where do I send the check? So I want to create for you no blink clients. No blink clients. How many of you would like to have no blink clients, that when you set your price and when you tell them what your fee and your price is, they just cut the check? If that's you, down in the chat, just write me. Down in the chat, write me. If that's you, if you want no blink clients, that when you say my fee is 50K, my fee is 100,000, my fee is 200,000, whatever your fee is, that they don't give you any backdrop, that they don't say, well, let me go think about it, that they realize that them saying no in that moment could possibly mean them losing the opportunity to work with you. So let's get into this. Let's talk about this. The first thing I'm going to share with you about building $1 million brand, and understanding that building $1 million brand is all about market perception. It's all about market perception. What do I mean by that? It's how does the market perceive you? What do they think about you? What do they think about you? So I want to give you an example here. I want to ask you all a question. What is the purpose of a purse? You know, those things that ladies carry. What is the purpose of a purse? Go down in the chat and tell me, what is the purpose of a purse? What's the purpose of a purse? What's the purpose of a purse? Down in the chat, let me know. I want this to be interactive. Down in the chat, let me know. What is the purpose of a purse? What is the purpose of a purse? Let me know down in the chat. All right. Somebody said the ability to carry things. All right. To carry things, to carry the necessities. All right. Awesome. To hold all of your belongings because we carry our life in there. All right. So think about this. So the purpose of a purse is to hold things, whether it's your makeup, your ID card. The purpose of a purse is to hold things. So now, if the purpose of a purse is to hold things, then why would somebody pay $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $30,000, $100,000 for a Birkin bag? Why would somebody pay up to $100,000 for a purse if the purpose of the purse is just to hold things? If the purpose of the purse is just to hold things, then they could just go to Target, they could go to Walmart, they could go to Michael Kors and get a purse for $50, a purse for $40. Why would that individual buy a purse for $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 if the purpose of the purse is just to hold things? I see you guys coming in. Status, exclusivity, right? So now we understand with the purse, at some point, it moved from just being a thing that held my things. At some point in our society, the purse stopped being just a thing to hold your stuff. It turned into a status symbol. It turned into, right, a reward. I've heard women say, I'm buying this to reward myself. I've heard women say, I'm buying this because I deserve this, right? It stopped being just a thing to hold your stuff to now a status symbol. The same thing has to happen with you as a speaker, an author, and consultant, and influencer. People have to stop seeing you just as a speaker. See, if they just see you as a speaker, if they just see you as an author, right? If they just see you as a consultant, then they'll put you in the commodity. They'll put you in the Target store. They'll put you in the Walmart store. See, the Louis Vuitton shop is not in every mall. The Louis Vuitton shop is not in every mall. The Prada store is not in every mall. The Birkin bag is not in every mall. It's not available everywhere, right? We're talking about market perception. Now, is the Birkin bag, the Louis Vuitton, the Prada bag, is it 100,000 times better than the Walmart bag? Is it 100,000? Is it 40,000 times better than the bag you can get at Target? Now, I hear what some of you are going to say. You're going to start telling me, well, it's made and it's manufactured over here. Oh, the stitching or this or that. And you're going to justify why you would pay 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 for this bag. You're going to do that. Louis Vuitton, Prada, Birkin bag, none of them justify their price. They allow the market to justify their price. They allow the market to argue why their product is 20, 30, 40, 100K. You've never seen a commercial where Louis Vuitton is even doing an advertisement, right? But you rarely see Louis Vuitton defending why their bag is $30,000, why their bag is $50,000. You never see them justifying the price. What you have seen is them position themselves in such a way that we, the market, we say it's worth 10,000. We say it's worth 40,000. We are the ones justifying it. When that wife goes to the husband and that husband is saying, why do you need to buy a bag that costs $5,000 when the purpose of a bag is just to put stuff in it? The wife is the one that starts to justify. Well, you don't understand. It's this, it's that, it's this and that and this. It's not the Louis Vuitton representative on the phone justifying to the husband why that purse is that price. It's not Louis Vuitton on the phone. It's the wife. And then she'll call up backup and she'll call up all of her homegirls. Would you come talk to him and tell him what the difference of a Louis Vuitton bag and a bag from Target is about, right? And so that's what you want the market to do for you and your brand. You want the market to justify why they're paying you. And that's what I'm going to help you with. Create that market perception. I'm going to help you create that market perception. So when you tell the market, this is your price, they will justify it. You don't have to justify it. You know, when someone reaches out to me and they say, Dr. Will, we would love for you to come and speak at our event. And then I give them the price. They go back and they talk to their board, or they go talk to whoever they need to talk to, and they justify, wait a minute, why is this speaker this much? Why is he charging $50K But last year we got a speaker, and that speaker was only 10K. How can we justify this extra 40,000 for Dr. Will when we just paid 10,000 for speaker XYZ? That individual is now able, here's the word, that individual is now able to look at my brand and they say, wait a minute, speaker XYZ, they're okay, but Dr. Will is one of the top 30 motivational speakers in the world. Dr. Will is one of the top 100 CEOs in Arizona. Dr. Will is a 50-time author, 35-time best-selling author. Dr. Will has been a successful business owner for the last 20. See, they begin to justify. And the reason why they've been able to justify is because the way I've positioned myself in the marketplace. And that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to share with you these 3 things that I've done to position myself in the marketplace so I can create no blink clients, so I can create a market perception that Dr. Will is way different than just any other speaker. He's way different than your average run-of-the-mill speaker. And that's what I want to help you do as well. That I want you to ensure that your bank account is reflecting your brilliance. So if you're ready for this, type in the chat, I'm ready. Type in the chat, I'm ready. Type in the chat, I'm ready, because I'm ready to give it to you. I'm ready to give it to you. If you're ready, type in the chat, I'm ready. Type in the chat, I'm ready. Let's go. All right, I see you. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I see you. So here's the first thing. I'm going to share the first thing with you. Let me share the first thing with you in building this market perception and setting yourself apart. So the first thing that you want to do, if you haven't done this already, and you want to establish yourself and you want to build $1 million brand, the first thing you want to do is you want to create your signature book. Not just any book, but your signature book. Your signature book. And what do I mean by your signature book? When I'm talking about your signature book, I'm talking to you about the book that has your philosophy in it, the book that has your framework, the book that has maybe your research in it. You want to create a signature book. So for me, my signature book was Genius Potential. That's my signature book. Even though I've written 50 books, my signature book that has my philosophy about life, that has my philosophy about how you can live your best life, my signature book is Genius Potential. And inside Genius Potential, I shared with the marketplace my philosophy on how you can overcome any obstacle in life. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm originally from Compton, California. Compton was said to be literally the worst city in America. And so how did I overcome that obstacle? How did I overcome the obstacle of being raised by a single mother in the worst city in America, not really having a relationship with my dad, overcoming some initial troubles I got into, like being arrested, being in a gang, selling drugs? How did I overcome that to become one of the leading motivational speakers in the world, to being named the top CEO? In that book, I give the audience, I give the marketplace my formula. So how do you, number one, discover your genius? Number two, how do you develop your genius? And number three, how do you deploy your genius or release your genius into the world? So in the book, my signature book, Genius Potential, I teach you how do you identify what your genius is. Because in the book, I share that my philosophy is that every single one of us have a genius on the inside of us. And the reason why I call it potential is because it's not automatic. It's not automatic. You're not going to deploy your genius just because you have genius. You have to, number one, identify it. So for me, my genius personally is communicating and teaching. So my genius is the ability to take a complex idea, to break down that complex idea into small, chewable bites where now the audience can consume it, right? So if you just think about a big old steak, right? The steak comes to your plate. Now, you can't consume that big old steak. What do you have to do? You have to cut that steak into smaller pieces. And now you're able to manageably eat that steak. So nobody, right? Nobody just takes a steak, puts it in between their hands and tries to devour it. Most people will have to cut the steak up in smaller pieces, and then they now take those smaller pieces and digest. That's what I do. So I take complex ideas like building a thriving speaker business. That's a complex idea. I take that down and then I break it down, and I've broken it down to my 10M speaker success formula. So how do you build a thriving speaker business? I've broken it down into 10 bites. If you follow these 10 bites, the 10M speaker success formula, then you'll have the recipe to building a thriving speaker business. How do you get paid to share your message? I've taken that complex idea and I'm breaking it down to my PAM formula. So if you brought the book Paid to Share, you're going to learn my PAM formula: how to position yourself, how to identify your advantage, and how to market yourself like a millionaire, right? So you're going to get that complex idea broken down for you. That's what I have the ability to do. That's my genius. So I had to identify that. Then I had to develop that. So what does development look like? Well, for me personally, I've read over 1,500 books. I've listened to thousands of audio tape CDs and podcasts. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into myself and to my personal development so I could develop my personal genius. And then what does it look like to deploy it, to release it into the world? Well, that's writing 50 books. That's having a speakers academy. That's having a company where I go out and I consult other companies. That's how I deploy my genius in the world. So number one, if you're going to build a $1 million brand, you have to establish yourself. And one of the best ways to establish yourself is to become an author. Why? Because the root word of authority is author. So remember, we're setting ourselves apart. We're setting ourselves apart. So I would dare to believe that there's not many other speakers out there that's written 50 books. I'm just going to go out on the limb and say that there's not another speaker out there that has written more books than me, right? So I'm setting myself apart in the market. So when that person who wants to hire me, they go back to their bosses and they say, hey, I reached out to Dr. Will's team. This is how much it costs to bring him in. And the boss is saying, well, we just paid $10,000 last year. Why is he $50,000? They have now justification. Well, he's one of the most prolific authors of the last decade. He's written over 50 books. 35 of them have become bestsellers. He's the only speaker that has 4 bestsellers in one day. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Market perception. So you want to look at what is your signature book that you can share your philosophy. What is your signature book that you can share your philosophy? Because automatically this is going to separate you. Now, when it comes to books, when you go on Amazon or when you come on social media, it may look as if everybody has written a book. Like everywhere you turn, it looks like, oh, well, everybody has a book. No, that's just because you're looking at the individuals in your sphere. Like when I look at most of all of my friends in my speaking industry, most of them have written books, right? Most of them have written books. But to the outside world, outside of that industry, there's 8 billion people, right? There's 8 billion people. So there's less authors, way more less, right? There's way more individuals that are not authors than they are authors. So even though in my little circle, it seems like all of us have written books, outside of that, when I go into a company and I talk to 500 employees, more times than not, none of them have written a book. So you understand that? So when I go into a company, if it's 1,000 individuals in the audience, more than likely, there's going to be less than 100 people that have written a book. If I'm in a room of 1,000 people, if I go to a conference and I'm speaking and there's 10,000 people, maybe in that audience, maybe 50 people that's written a book, maybe, and that's depending on the audience. If I go to a just straight corporate event and it's just corporate individuals, more than likely they have not written books. So I'm automatically going to stand out, right? I'm the only author or one of the few authors. And if I'm one of the few authors, I'm the only author who has the microphone. So even the other authors in the room are paying attention to me. So you see how that works? Is this making sense? Is this making sense? Right? So when you look at that, this is one of the things you do that is going to allow you to stand out. So I want you guys to think about, if you haven't written your signature book, not just any book, but your signature book that that shares your formula, that shares your brilliance, that shares your framework, your research, then you need to write your signature book. That's number one. Is this making sense to you? Is this making sense? Good. I'm looking at the chats. It's making sense. All right. It's making sense. All right. So let's go to the second thing that I did to build my market perception that's allowed me to build my brand. Once again, we're not talking about logos. We're not talking about websites. We're talking about you as the brand. What do you need to do to stand out so you can have what we call no blink clients? What can you do so you can have no blink clients? So let's look at this second thing. The second thing that I've done to stand out is I've used the media. I've used media. Everybody type in the chat, media. Type in the chat, media. How many? Type in the chat, media. Right, media. Media is going to be a game changer for you. It's going to be a game changer. I'm going to share with you how you can use media. Ray, I see you, Ray. Nope, not even him. Not even John Maxwell. I'm at 50. John Maxwell is at 27 books. I'm at 50 books. So using media to build your brand, once again, to stand out, once again, to create market perception, We're going to use our media. Now, going back, looking at number one, when you look at number one, writing your signature book is going to create the opportunity for you to share your message via the media. So if you look here, I've been on several local and national newscasts many times because of my book. So if you look at this picture right here, you see paid to share is displayed right there. I got on there to talk about my book, to talk about the art of communication. And that was because of the book. So these begin to build on each other. So you write your signature book, news people, Monday through Friday, they are always looking for a story. So I want you to think about this. Monday through Friday, that's 5 days. That's 20 days out the month. Let's just say There's 4 local broad newscasters in your arena: ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, right? There's 4. Let's say each of them every day for those 5 days out the week, they need, let's just say they need 2 stories a day. Let's just say they need 2 stories a day. So that's 2 stories times 4 outlets. That's 8 stories, right? Times 5, that's 40, times that month. That's how many stories that they need. So they're always looking for stories. Hey, Ray, I was just giving you some backdrop, man. I'm just messing with you, man. But they need stories. So you being able to talk about your book and talk about your story, they need you. You're helping them out because they have to have these stories. So reaching out to your local media, letting them know that, hey, I'm an expert. I speak on this subject. I would love to come and share my philosophy. I would love to come and share and talk about this new book that I have that talks about communication, that talks about marriage, that talks about leadership, that talks about politics, whatever it is. Media is going to help you. Now, once again, what are we trying to do here with our brand? We're trying to create market perception. That's all we're trying to do. So when you reach out to, or when someone comes to your website and you've positioned yourself. So if you go to my website and you see, wait a minute, not only does he have a book, but man, he's on TV. He's been in the media. Once again, all of this is creating market perception. All we're wanting to do is when they see you, immediately you separate yourself from the pack. That's what we're trying to do here. When we talk about building your brand, we're separating you from the pack. We're separating you from the pack. So when someone comes to your website and they're trying to decipher if they should hire you as a speaker, as a coach, as an author, as a consultant, as a influencer, you've positioned yourself automatically not to be run of the mill, not to be an average whatever. You're already setting yourself apart. So now it makes it a no-brainer. It makes it a no-brainer for them to select you. What you really want to do, literally, just like with Prada, just like with Louis Vuitton, no one goes to Louis Vuitton, Prada, or Birkin looking for a discount. They don't even expect for those products to be on sale. When you look at a Bentley, when you look at a Rolls Royce, you never see a commercial that says, hey, we're having our end of the year blowout sale. Come get one before the new ones come in for the new year. We need to get rid of last year's model. So we've dropped it down. You're never going to get that when you go to the Lamborghini dealer. You're never going to get that when you go to Mercedes, or when you go to Porsche. You're not going to get that. And so when people experience your brand, they should already have the perception, oh, I'm not going to even offend them by offering them $500 to come and speak. I'm not going to even offend them by offering them a gift card to come and speak. So when you have your book, you have your signature book, you have your media in place, you get with your local media, you get real good with doing local media, they begin to reach out to you because now you're the local expert. I have our local media here in Arizona. They reach out to me quite frequently for my expert advice. And so what does this do? Once again, what does this do? It starts to set the perception that you're the go-to person. So maybe that CEO, maybe that HR manager, maybe that HR, that director of operations is looking at the local news that morning and they see you. They see you. And so you being able to not only use TV media, but using print media, your local newspaper. You know, here recently, they just came and did a feature on me in my home about the success of my career and my business and things like that. So now when I go into, literally, I was just walking into my bank the other day. And when I walked into my bank, everybody started clapping their hands. And the manager ran up to me and she had a copy of the local newspaper and said, Dr. Will, we are so excited. We saw you in the newspaper. So when I walk in there, I'm a local celebrity, right? And she sits down with me and she's like, I didn't know you were doing all of this. And I didn't know, oh my goodness, right? So using media, once again, to set the perception of the marketplace, because that's what the brand is all about. You want to separate yourself from everybody else. So number one, we got our signature book. Number two, we're going to use media. We're going to use media to further our message. We're going to use media to further our message and communicate to our ideal client. So how many of you, this is making sense? This is making sense to you. So number one, you're going to go and you're going to write your signature book. You're going to write your signature book. Number two, you're going to start reaching out to your local media to get on local media. You're going to get on local media because this is going to build your brand perception. You're going to build your brand perception because what we're wanting to do is separate ourselves from everybody else. So now you have your signature book. Now you're on media. Now you're getting on TV. Now you're getting into magazines. Now you're getting into newspapers. And so when you put all of this on your website, when you put all of this information on your website, when people now go to your website, you're standing head and shoulders above everybody else. You're head and shoulders above everybody else. All right, let's get to this last one. So what are we going to do? We got our book. We're getting on social media. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to start speaking. If you ask me, Dr. Will, what has been the number one thing that you have used over the last 15 years to build your brand? Is speaking. It's learning how to master the mic. And when I say master the mic, what I'm talking about is to be able to communicate in such a way where you not only connect to people's head, but you connect to their heart. And so if you would ask me, Dr. Will, what is the number one thing you have done to build your brand? What is the number one thing that has allowed your company to be named Diversity Company of the Year? If you would ask me, Dr. Will, what has been the number one thing you've done to get all the recognition that you've gotten in the industry, to be named Business Person of the Year, to be named Veteran Company of the Year? It's been speaking. Why has it been speaking? Because now speaking creates exposure. The second thing that it does, it allows me to go from talking one-to-one about my services, about what I do, to talking one-to-many. So now if I can go and I can talk to a group of CEOs, so if I can go and talk to a group of CEOs about being better CEOs and how they can now influence their employees to go from being an employee to a partner, if I can talk to 100 CEOs versus having to call up one by one 100 CEOs, how long would that talk? How long would that take? But if I can find an event that's going to have 100 CEOs in attendance, and I can now go and talk to them, and I can share with them my philosophy, and I can share with them some of the principles of leadership that I've used over the last 20 years. If I can share with them one-to-many versus one-to-one, out of that group, I know out of that 100 CEOs, I know that at least 10 of them are going to bring me in to talk to their leaders and to talk to their company. I know without a doubt, you put me in front of 10, 100 CEOs, I know at least 10 of them are going to bring me in. And so I go and I speak one time, but I come back with 10 possibilities. So now if I go speak 10 times in this same type of setup, I come back with 100 opportunities. If every time I talk to 100 individuals, I come back with 10 opportunities, I now have 100 opportunities. From that 100 opportunities, if I close just 30% of those 100 opportunities, that's 30 new partners and 30 new clients that I have. If I have 30 clients and I'm charging them $50K to do what I do, that's $1.5 million. That's $1.5 million. And that's me speaking one to many and not one-on-one. And so if you ask me, learning how to master the mic, Warren Buffett has went on record, and Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in the world. And Warren has went on record and said the number one skill that he acquired, listen to what I'm saying, the number one skill that he acquired, that he attributes to his success, is learning how to communicate effectively. Learning how to communicate effectively. Learning how to get in front of audiences. And Warren wouldn't consider himself a speaker, but every year he does a big investor conference where he has to stand in front of investors and explain the vision for Berkshire and explain the mission of Berkshire, explain what he's done in the last year, why he's done it. And he has to explain it in a masterful way where the investors still have confidence in him. They still have confidence in investing in him. And that's because he's been able to articulate the vision for Berkshire. And so I want you to think about how many opportunities are you losing because you don't have the confidence to communicate? How many opportunities are you missing out on because you're still saying, I get nervous when I speak in front of people? You know, it is said that one of the greatest fears of most human beings is speaking in public. But if you can learn how to master this skill, if you can learn how to master speaking in public, speaking is one of the most lucrative fields out there, literally, bar none. There's very few professions where you can earn $8,000, $2,000, $5,000, $100,000 for speaking 1 hour. There's very few industries that you have that opportunity. And so now, for me, two things I love to do. I love to travel and I love to meet people. So as a speaker, now literally, I get paid to do what I love. I get paid to speak. I get paid to travel. I get paid literally to meet famous people. You know, a month or so ago, I had the opportunity to share the stage with one of my idols growing up, Magic Johnson. I've shared the stage with Teddy Riley. I've shared the stage with Les Brown, Elisa Nichols, Gary Vee. I've shared the stage with all these amazing individuals, all because of my speaking. All because of my speaking. It's allowed me to travel to 50 different countries. It's allowed me to live in five different countries. It's allowed me to create a lifestyle that I could only dream about because I've learned how to master the mic. And so these are three things that I've done. These are three things that I've done that literally has transformed my life and has built $1 million brand for myself. Writing your signature book, using media to advance your message, and then using the microphone to elevate and amplify your core message, your core teachings. And so what I want to do, we have a training coming up this week. It's called Master the Mic. It's called Master the Mic. It's a 3-day transformational event right here in Phoenix, Arizona, October the 20th through the 22nd, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. When you come, I'm going to teach you how to turn your mess into a message and then be able to monetize your message. I'm going to tell you how you can get paid for your pain, right? If you feel on the inside of you that you have a message that you want to get out to the public, if you have a skill set, a knowledge that you believe that people can be empowered by, and you want to make an impact and make an income, then you want to come to Master the Mic. It's 3 days right here in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. We're going to be in a room and I'm going to teach you how to literally excavate your life and pull out the best stories. You know, the example that I always use is I want you to think about your keynote or your presentation like a documentary, right? And so if you think about a documentary, they can't put everything in the documentary. They can't put your whole life in there. So they have to pick out the best parts, and they have to string it together into a storyline, right? They have to string it together into a storyline, which then enables you to tell your story in a codified way, in a shortened way. That's what the keynote is. So there's a lot of things that I can talk about. There's a lot of things that I've experienced. There's a lot of knowledge and skills that I have, but I can't talk about it all. So what I've had to do is figure out, what message do I want to deliver to the marketplace? What message do I believe is going to be the most impactful message in the marketplace? And then what stories can I use to undergird the principles that I'm teaching? So I'm going to show you how to do all of that. I'm going to show you in a more expanded way. We just touched the surface today about branding, but I'm going to show you in a more expanded way how to position yourself, You know, when I think back just several years ago, no one knew about me as it related to being a professional speaker. No one knew about me. No one knew about my brand. But here I sit just a couple of years later, being named one of the top 30 speakers in the world, being named one of the top 100 CEOs. And a lot of what I'm going to teach you and show you is what has helped me get on the radar. See, you can't get those acknowledgments if nobody knows about you. Now, I know people tell you, listen, don't toot your own horn and just let your work speak for itself. Nope. You'll be the best kept secret. So you have to learn how to effectively market yourself. You have to learn how to effectively position yourself. You see, you know, all these awards back here, they're wonderful. But if people didn't know about Dr. Will, they wouldn't be able to acknowledge me. They wouldn't be able to look at my body of work and say he's worthy of this award. They wouldn't be able to do that. I had to be in their ecosystem, right? I had to be in their ecosystem. Somebody had to be able to see me and say, oh, let me see what else this gentleman is doing. Let me see what else he has going on. And because we've positioned it correctly, then when they go and look, they say, oh, wow, how did we not know about this individual? So if you're under the assumption that, oh, I'm just going to let my work speak for itself, oh, they'll recognize me. No, you'll go to your grave and you won't be recognized for your amazing work. And this is why I always say your bank account should reflect your brilliance. But for many of us, our bank account is not reflecting our brilliance because we haven't done these strategic things. I don't want any of you think things are just happening to happen. You have to be very intentional and strategic about your brand. You got to be very intentional and strategic about your positioning. And so when you come and hang out with us for 3 days in Phoenix, Arizona, and I think my team, they're putting that information. Yeah, there it is. Dr. Marcy is putting it down there. Go to masterthemiclive.com, masterthemiclive.com. Listen, if you're on the West Coast, because I know it's short notice for a lot of you, if you are on the West Coast, There's no reason. If you're in California, Nevada, Oregon, man, you can drive here. You can literally drive here. If you're in Phoenix, anywhere in Arizona, you don't want to miss this opportunity. You don't want to miss this opportunity. 3 days, I'm going to show you how to master the mic. I'm going to show you how to master the mic, how you can begin to talk from one-to-one to one-to-many. That's going to increase your lead generation. That's going to increase your potential client base. That's going to increase your opportunity to close more sales. Because at the end of the day, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, that's the name of the game, right? To close more sales. No matter what you do, no matter how much impact you want to have, no matter how much you want to inspire people, at the end of the day, the name of the game is to close more sales. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. So once again, you want to go right over to Master the Mic Live, masterthemiclive.com. Register today. Don't miss out on it. It's happening this Friday through Sunday. So I hope I said something that has given you something that will allow you to start building your brand, taking your brand to the next level. And I hope to see you right here in Phoenix. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a fantastic day.